So here is the Bessey parallel clamps. It's a great clamp because it keeps the jar parallel to each other even under great pressure. The problem with it is it's so pricey. I bought 4 of these at a sale at about 40% off, and still I think they cost a fortune. And actually, if you look at the clamp, it's not that complicated. Yeah, why not to make your own? So here's my homemade parallel clamps. It's about the same measurement of the Bessey ones. They're about the same height. It's about 6 inches high, and the jar depth is about 4 inches. And I have 3 different bar lengths. This is 2 feet, this is 4 feet, this is 7 feet. If you buy them separately, I think they will cost you like $1,000. But all of my clamps, they cost about $400. So let me show you how the parallel clamps works and how to make them. So the parallel clamps made of 3 parts basically. There's a fixed jar, and there's a bar, and there's a sliding jar, right? So the fixed jar is always 90 degrees to the bar, and the sliding jar is always 90 degrees to the bar. And so when they close parallelly. So the more interesting part is how the sliding jar works. So I have a sliding jar here, and I will cut it in half and show you how it works. Okay, so this is sliding jar cut in half, and as you can see, it's made of well, 2 pieces basically. One is this jamming piece inside, one is the sliding part outside. So when the jar slides, the jamming piece, you need to tilt the jamming piece forward. So the only part that rubbing on the metal bar is these 2 wood contact, and they don't have a lot of friction, so they can move fairly easily. And once you want to close the jar, you tilt the block backwards, and you thread in, and that will increase this angle. That will bite these 2 parts, the metal parts on the jar. These are actually set screws on the jar, and that will keep the the jamming piece from slipping. So let me show you how the jamming piece is made of. So here's the jamming piece. It has 2 thread screws here and here. So if you look at the Bessey ones, the bar has little teeth on the side. That's because it can create some big friction, so the sliding bar, the jamming piece inside the sliding bar, can really bite onto the bar. But in my homemade clamp, I have this cold rolled steel, which is really smooth, and I have to have some way for the jamming piece to grab onto. And what I came up with is I partially threaded in this set screw and have the thread partially cut out, so the thread can bite onto the metal bar, like so. And they really work great. As you can see here, this is a bite mark by the thread screw, and that really jammed the piece solid in place, so they never slip. So the only challenge here is how to make these, because some people ask me, like, how do you drill and tap the hole that precise here? I can't. So what I did is I drill and tap the hole before I cut out this opening. So the position of the screw needs to be relatively precise, but they don't have to be like that precise. And once I have the hole drilled and tapped, I partially cut out this opening until this thread is revealed, and I do the same thing on this piece, on this gluing piece here. and then I use the metal bar as a guide and put the jamming piece inside, then glue the piece inside, then glue this piece inside. And I have to make sure the distance of this piece and the jamming bar, so that they tilt backwards just a little bit. I use the same method to make the sliding jar and the fixed jar. I use a table saw to cut out this opening, then glue one piece back in. The reason I don't use like a hollow mortiser is, first of all, I don't have one. Second, even if I do, because the hollow mortiser only have a fixed width, and I want the sliding jar to be loose on the bar so they can slide, and I want the fixed jar to be really tight, so there's no play here. So with the table saw I can really fine-tune those. And for the fixed jar, I put the piece, I do the same thing, cut out the opening and put it back and glue the piece back. But one more thing I did is I drilled 2 holes. This is probably one of the early experimental ones. So I drilled 2 holes and I put a roll pin here. This one doesn't have pin inside it because I drilled like 3/16, and I intend to put in just a metal rod. But I figured roll pin is much better. So on all my other pieces I use the roll pin, and they work great. The other challenge is to make the actually the hole here. So the other challenge is to make the recess for the nut. So I'm using these Akron threads. So they are better than the normal like 14 TPI half-inch rods. One is that they don't have the, they can apply more pressure, and also they have less TPI, so that means one turn can move the jar forward more. So the way I cut off this recess is I use the Pennyroder, Matthias designed Pennyroder, and they really work great. And once you set up one piece, you can do all the rest in very little time. Well, this piece is a screwed up piece, so you can see I cut on the wrong side and I have to throw this piece out. So the design is not, well, it looks easy, but I actually had some problems. Like this one is the early experiment ones, and I cut out the recess too much, and I leave just a little bit at the back, the maple. So when I insert the pressure, they actually crack here. So I have to throw the whole batch away. Lessons learned. So the second piece, this ones, I don't cut out any of the materials here, and I make the recess really shallow, so I have more materials at the back, to support the jamming piece, because the jamming piece is really the one that takes the whole pressure, right? And also the fixed jar. The sliding jar actually doesn't need that strong. I can probably, so this one is a 1 inch thick, I can probably make it like a 3/4 inch thick or less. I don't think they take a lot of pressure anyway. So I also have a CAD drawing, and I can share with you. These all made of, the jars are made of maple, and the sides are made of 1/4 inch plywood. Those are really easy to find and not very expensive. And you need some roping, and you need a thread rod and some nuts. You can actually use the normal ones if you prefer. The only one that costs you a little bit of money is this metal bar. So I use the cold rolled metal because they look great. And I believe you can use the hot rolled ones if you like. You just need to, because those ones are not really square, and you have to make some adjustment to the plan.